And yes, so we can start. So hello everyone. Hello Johan. Hello Victoria. Hello Maros. And also hello to other of our people who will watch us. I think the mentors who could not join us, especially Mienke and Lucia from Brussels and Wendy. Like really send you a big greetings, and also wanted to join but couldn't. So this is like hello from to everyone, and this is our closing session of this cycle that started in June and has been really like ups and downs, interesting, and also maybe enriching. I hope it was enriching. So the structure of this call is very easy. It will be just about mapping up your ideas and your insights. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, it was a bit cut off. I hope it's not my connection.
Better.
Okay, can we hear each other? You can, by the way, Victoria, be unmuted because we are only two, and it's if you are not in a super noisy space, like you can feel yourself, feel free to unmute. So it won't be very fast. It won't be very long. It will be really just reflecting what we have got and what you have got, mostly maybe in the first phase. And the second question is also, what do you think it's up there now in the world or in Europe you live in that is needed to be addressed by new academy? Because we are going to revise the whole academy and we are going to like do it differently, and it's not about us small people, like few people on the team saying how it should look like. It's mostly from you, and nevertheless I've been in the touch with you. It would be great to hear really how would you improve it, do it differently. But firstly, maybe we could really follow with one of you. You can choose who will go the first. Like really, what has been the biggest takeaway for you maybe from these months, and how it has exceeded or expected or didn't expect your expectations, that didn't meet the expectations you had?
If you want, I can start, but let's do it interactively.
Okay.
Hello?
Yes.
Yeah, let's do that interactively because I think it's, I'm really curious what Johan thinks. He was much more frequent participant than I did. Sorry for that. For me, the best takeaway is, of course, people who are inside, and that's the biggest asset in any kind of the format that the Global Academy of Conscious Politics is doing. And then the opportunity to first of all, to listen to decision makers and the people who are very close to the decision making in the EU in particular. That was something that I valued most of all. So people, and then the content that these people were bringing to the Global Academy of Conscious Politics. Andrea, just tell me whether you can listen to me because I'm on my mobile internet, so sometimes it stops.
Perfect.
Okay. And the third point is, of course, the unexpected topics. So that's something that for me, as being a classic teacher, let's say that was a real challenge. And this is what I liked, and I definitely liked. And some of these ideas, Andrea, you were posting, and I was informing you about that. Some of the content of the speakers was put into my research papers and into the article. So it was very, let's say, practical in terms of applicability in my work as a teacher and as a researcher, and like kind of in a Global Academy as a student. I'm happy to be called myself a student because we are all students, we are learning from each other. And to listen to another biggest asset and takeaway for me is working in a very small team. I've never worked in a group that was kind of up to 5 or 4 people. That's a huge privilege, actually, of that. And that's something that, in particular, from the first sessions, and in particular from Wendy's session, I remember that correctly, devoted much more time to each of us in order to respond to some of the challenges, both personal and professional. That's a kind of number 5 for the contribution, is tackling a personality but not a profession. So
Thank you.
Something I would like to, I don't know, I can stop here and Johan can intervene so that we can
whatever you want, like whatever people
You can go on. You can go on.
Yeah, we can maybe go through what you like and what you didn't, or we can go this way that also Johan said what he didn't. Maybe it would be better if Johan says what he liked, because now it can give us, like, it brings great perspective what was a plus and what we can keep in other cohorts, because this is also maybe small invitation I would like to share with you in the end, what we can bring for the other cohorts. So maybe we can keep it like the blocks, like what we like, what was more like, okay, this was great, and what was not so great.
Okay, I hope it's okay. I'm sorry for the music behind, all the time in cafes. If I have to speak louder, please say it. So Andrea, if I'm correct,
we love music, Johan.
you want feedback on what we had, the academy sessions, and you also want ideas for the future. Yeah, that's what you're asking. Oh, Andrea, we cannot listen to you now. It's cut, but
I think it's about kind of something that you liked, Johan.
Okay, yeah. So what we liked. So what I liked in the Global Academy of Conscious Politics, well, to meet inspiring other people like me, actually, I would say learners who are in Ukraine or in Slovakia and later Brussels. That is great. That is very nice. Maybe I would even be eager to know more by maybe smaller sessions about what we really like, what are our centers of interest. I think all of us were very much interested in society, politics, international things. So it made and this is another thing I like, is that the group was small, but it was we all knew quite well what is the European Union, etc. So there was no people from very far away. There were not too many discrepancies in what was to be taught, and the teachers are inspiring. And I would never meet people from the US or from Australia, maybe even from Brussels or from England, if So this is great that we use these tools of the internet to meet with other people. I think this is really nice, really nice. What else? Well, I didn't make a list before, Sarah. So just things kept popping up. Yeah, I can use my English. That's good. That's good. Okay, that's it. Yeah, does that answer the question? Or...
Thank you.
Yeah.
And everything answers the question. It's basically really if it has what was the best and what met your expectations, and it's also maybe good to know what hasn't or what didn't meet the expectations.
Okay.
That would be also great to see. And I love when you said about the mentors. Exactly. This is something that we want to bring, and it may be the most important. And it's also unique for your group, because in your group, Victoria experienced it once. You haven't, because you joined a little bit later. But the previous cohort, there were people from different parts of the world. Exactly. And that was sometimes even confusing. That's true, because Indians didn't have any clue about EU. Christina from Bolivia didn't have any clue about our electoral system. So this homogeneous way of being was also interesting to see in this cohort, that you were all Europeans, well learned, well equipped with the knowledge of EU institutions. So it's good you mention it.
Yeah, so to go further in the feedback, for me the most interesting was from our friend from the European Commission. What's her name again?
Lucia.
Lucia, yeah, because it's closer to my job and my studies and what I'm interested in life. That's the simple reason why. But I really appreciated to know more about, for instance, corporate social responsibilities and goals of SDGs. Because I don't know it, and so it's also great. I think well, you may always presume, you never know. Yeah, you have to do it to try. But I think it would be more comfortable for me to have more sessions with the same people, with the same, you know, presenters. I don't know what's the correct number, 2, 3, 4, because I have the impression that online meetings, it takes more time than in real life. Maybe not to meet, because you have to explain, show everything, you cannot feel, you cannot be in the place. And you know, and everything is either we say or don't say, so it has to take time. I think the presenter has to do a lot to manage the group, much more than maybe in a real meeting. And then I think it would be maybe worth to use that was built during a first meeting to continue a second or maybe a third, I don't know, meeting. And I think that this would also allow, but it's just ideas because you asked for it. Yeah, I'm not gonna.
I'm curious, very curious.
Answering the question. I think that would allow the presenter to, because then we are asked to say, the presenter has to give something in because we are waiting for it. Then they want a kind of feedback immediately, but then we are not really prepared. And then so we give something that we say, so they answer us. But I think that if at the end of the first session we give we say how it was for us, maybe then the presenter can better prepare the second session, and it could be a bit more personalized, more answering to questions of people, and so on. I also did this this academy because I really wanted to see how it works online. I've never done something 100% online. And so I missed one person, and I think she's an amazing speaker, and I'm very sorry about that, but I thought it was going to happen, truly, you know. Sometimes that you miss one thing, you know, it's part of life. And I really like the idea of, it was, what's the women from Australia? Deborah, yeah. There was both a PowerPoint that we could see on the whole screen and the person speaking, and it was not designed as a PowerPoint for people sitting in a room, but I think for people viewing on the screen. And I think that's the good approach, because then instead of being like a real person, but without being in the place, we use the full potential of not only listening, but also viewing things, maybe clicking on something. So I think if someday I would have to do that, the presentations, I would also use such presentations, which must make a horrible lot of time to prepare, I guess.
No, it's actually only the keynote or presentation turned into PDF.
Okay.
That's very easy about it, and you can find this presentation, but it's when you put the presentation to PDF, then it's very well shareable, like way more shareable than on the screen, because through the Zoom you can share also PDF, you can share video, you can share everything on your screen, but in the PDF it goes slide by slide, and it's not like it open up like a presentation. So that's also, but you can find in your member zone already the presentation, but I think it was just a PDF. It was like, you know, it was transferred to that.
Yeah, but during the Zoom, I think it's great that the speaker moves the slides, because you know, it gives a coherence, and then we are on absorbing mode and not doing something at the same time. I also think I would have needed sometimes some more practical things. I think we talked about it yesterday and also. But I am very well aware that people, especially when they pay, and especially when they do something online, they usually do nothing. So it has to be something very, very simple, small. I don't know, like for the next meeting. I don't know. I don't know how would be the perfect formula, but I think it would have been okay for me to think about something before a subject, or to prepare something very, very simple, very small. I don't know what. Because when the video is already on, and then we are asked to take part, it's already a bit like we are almost taken by surprise. Yeah, and that's it. And for the subjects, I think I would have liked to have in advance of the, maybe the more precise subjects described before even I become part of a member of the Global Academy of Conscious Politics. that they will, maybe you did it, social responsible business, EU politics, I will more have an idea. Okay, that's it.
Oh, great. That's great you are saying. Amazing.
I actually can add to Yuan's comments. You see, Andrea, we were on the same scale. Like last week, you asked me about how can we zoom that into, and I was telling you home assignments. This is what I call it, or something practical. So it means that there could be some modules instead of one meeting. So I definitely share what Yuan was telling, even if it's kind of a paid thing from the participants. Still, there should be something that as a content and context related activity, and I definitely understand, even if we are paying for that, I would need something more substantial, something like even a case study together that we can do as a work, so that could zoom us into working as a team with a different context. So at least say a very simple case study could be a great example of that. And a case of modules, it could be not even 2 but 3 sessions, kind of the third one could be a rack up of all of the 2 previous, and that could help us to zoom more, for the future participants, I mean, to zoom more into the topic. That's why I think I definitely stay on the line of Johan's to of sharing some more sessions with the same speaker, so that we know what are the topics that he has presented and that they are in the modules case. Or case study might be, it could be a very nice teamwork for all of us at least to think about. So something very simple. I'm actually on the courses in Ukraine that we have very simple assignments every session that we are. And Andrea was telling you about this case. The questions are after the lecture, they are in a very simple form with the multiple choice, and that's it. So, but it zooms more the person to wrap up the topic. That could be a very nice idea of cooperation, or kind of expanding the curricula of the academy itself. Related to the topics, to tell the truth, there could be a wide spectrum of topics. For example, everything that relates to the cross-cultural communication, like EU, NATO, whatever, US. So it very much depends, of course, on the group that is in. I definitely understand that. But at the same time, to have the opportunity to work on how the communication in its global scale, or something that is called EU PR or branding EU, or how they are doing that in terms of nowadays. So it's not only about the post-truth or things like that. It's much deeper as an idea, as for me. I can tell a lot about that, but something like that would be, I think, an asset for the next groups as such. And then, of course, as an outcome, I was presenting it to you, Andrea, but I can repeat, it very much, of course, depends on the group. But as an alternative, if some of the participants would like to, they can do a policy paper together with their mentors. And that could be an extra motivation for the participants to be inside the Global Academy of the next let's say circles, because that will be an extra motivation for them personally and professionally to, you know, follow on. I totally take it as a personal thing, and that's of course of my expertise being a researcher. This is what I really would like to, but maybe this case of cooperation with Andrea could be taken as a pilot case for next cycles of Andrea Boccuni, I mean, sorry for confusing. It could be taken as an example of, you know, kind of the lecturer, then him becoming a mentor, and then his information is being used in the publications. I think it's a great, and it could be used, I mean, as an idea as such.
If people are all as motivated as you are, yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Johan, I definitely say that's my very personal, subjective approach, and I mean, that's just a reflection of what I'm having and how alternative ways of boosting the participation, but also intensifying the activities inside the groups can be used.
What kind of topics you feel that would be maybe better to really focus on and have more sessions? Because I love this idea, and it's amazing you are a little bit reading our thoughts, how we want to restructure the academy exactly from next year on, and even maybe until the end of this year to run the campaign in this way. So what you felt that would be necessary to speak about more, or what kind of topics, if we maybe speak about a month of sessions, so let's say 4 sessions per month for a person, or 5 sessions. So what are the topics that you would appreciate so much? Because I completely love what you said, and it's definitely we can go deeper, you can interact more, like you're in touch with the person, but what would be those topics you appreciated?
I don't know whether you ask me, Andrea, but if it turns to what I was saying in a very global shape of the communication, it could be everything. How the modern EU is communicating to its citizens and whether it's successful or not. So it will touch definitely the topic of populism and the ideas of hot potato elections, how we call them in Ukraine. That's a new concept, you know. Then, for example, what is the future of the structures like not only EU, but NATO and OSCE and UN? That's something that for me is a personal interest. So we definitely all talk about their transformation, but how to transform them, or what is the vision and how it's being communicated to the citizens of those countries that they are member of, that's a vague thing. And the third one that I would definitely love to touch is basically, if we talk about policy making and decision making, what is the contemporary decision making? So how it's being influenced by whom, by what? So what is the reason of this emotional decision making, this overlapping in all of our countries? That's my trio.
Mm-hmm.
So what new subjects? It's always, I think, more easy to give suggestions for new subjects than to remember. One of the things is maybe more things about the environment, because the climate is a really hot topic. But we already did it for the sustainable business approach, the sustainable developing goals, actually. So it's true. Yeah, but that's anyway. There are many topics in it. Yeah, topics and topics.
And from those who, from those you have experience and you would like to dig deeper, you know, Johan, for example, from the topics you experienced, but you had only 1 session or 2. So what was that?
Yeah,
it was like, okay, I'd love to.
I'll answer very soon to your question, if I may. Yeah. So the subjects to deepen, if I may continue. You're still here, Andrea?
Yeah. The ones that you, yes, the ones that you experienced and you liked, but you would like to go deeper, and you would appreciate if maybe another 2 sessions happened.
Yeah. So as I said, all of them. I think it would be more useful to deepen them. And for me personally, the EU institutions, because this is a thing I like, I love, I'm interested in, and politics in general. So for me, more this one, but all of them in general. Maybe a bit more societal questions. I don't know, new trends, and, new types of minorities and so on. Maybe there could be a session about, say, developing countries, and there could be a session about technology, AI, and you can link it to many things. You can link it to business, you can link it to democracy and politics, but AI and technology in general is a big subject. And
wow.
I mean, it sounds great. If you say we talk about climate, we talk about new technology and everything, it's just what everybody does to attract people, but it's, but I mean, it's, you can link it to startup, whatever. And also you could talk about more politics and democratization by having a general plan framework. And then in addition to this, maybe asking participants to say related to this plan or to this model, I don't know, it could be a framework rule of law by the Council of Europe or by the UN or whatever, or something else, or something about corruption in countries like Transparency International. And then people could say, how is it in my country, and how I think it could be made better in my country or in one country we choose that we live in. And then you could have both a general framework and something more specialized, so that each group has different colors, different shapes. And so I said, but as I said, I would agree to have less topics with more sessions on them. So, so it's okay.
Super. Victoria, you wanted to say something because I feel like you want to react, or?
No, I'm actually fine. I as I told you, I agreed on the idea of the modules. This is how I call it. So sessions like that, they are with some stages and some maybe practical activity with that. So I definitely understand. Related to deepening one of the topic, it's very much depends who will be the speakers, whether the speakers will be the same and the audience. So for me, it's very hard. I mean, I think it's a bilateral process because the speakers, they have their own privileges, and maybe not one topic they can split into some sessions, or they will transform them under a different name into the sessions.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. First of all, before we dig into, even we have a few minutes before Victoria leaves, but before we dig into what it's up to, I would like to thank you because you really made this cycle real and made it happen with Maros, who could not join us, but even the people who were lecturers and who were sharing the time with you and who were sharing their knowledge, insights, and wisdom really took you as members. I don't take you as a student. I always refer to you as a members of Global Academy because we are all. But yeah, that depends how you refer to yourself. And it's been also like a privilege to see how we can interact in a smaller group and maybe more homogeneous group than the two previous ones. But still, you know, how is the preparation, how the lecturer can react, and also co-create with you a little bit, because I've been in the conversations with both of you in between, and those are like very good and very, I would say, very useful insights that we also have started building on the academy. And I totally get your feedback, and there's a lot of very good points in terms of what to improve. And it's really visible that we cannot do the academy this way as we used to do. Like the 1 year trial went on and it has gone amazingly thanks to you as well. And we know that, okay, let's move, and we can move. So, but thank you, because you made it possible, and you made it also a pride for the mentors to come in, because I never forget like Lucia's excitement to join us, you know, from commission, or Deborah, even it was our morning, her evening in Australia, but excited to, you know, to join, to have presentation. And even others like Catherine, she was so much thankful to be, you know, to be with us, and the same Wendy when we started. So it was because of you. And all these mentors this time did it almost for free from their time as their contribution to humanity. As I said, almost for free. There were some costs, but of course they were not charging Academy the cost they are charging business clients. And still they felt like that the time they invested was much more even precious than with some of their business clients. So, and this is definitely because of you. So this is big like gratitude from me and from us as a team to you, Victoria, to you, Maros, and to you, Johan, that you made it really happen. And it was very worth for them to be here and to contribute what we can do, you know, further for conscious politics. So just wanted to like say it before we even move and jump to things, what can be happening.
Yeah, if there's about some things to improve, as you said, I might have may I still add something?
Yeah, of course.
I had because I always have the question how to deal with the situation that some people always arrive a bit late. I mean, I don't know, I'm French. In France, if you say there's a Skype conference, you have to plan 15 minutes, duration. And so how to use this as an opportunity and not as a problem, that some people will arrive 5, 10 or 15 minutes late and they might make them feel comfortable with that. I thought maybe do something like the main speaker maybe arrives a bit later, maybe we present the speaker together in advance, I don't know, or do some activity together that would be also a kind of ritual that every time, ritual are reassuring for people. Every society has them, but I don't know, but maybe that's an idea.
That's a good idea, and actually leads me to apologies for today, when I promised you to start at Q5, like Q2, and I was not able because I was on one call that I could not end up anyhow, and could not say sorry, and it was my fault that I had promised you different date, and it cannot happen anytime. And thanks for your patience, but I understand it was not professional from my side, so thank you for pointing out. And it also may be good for a mentor, because sometimes it can happen that the mentor cannot come on time, which also happened to us. And it's a great idea to make maybe some ritual that people are connected to each other and they use the time and space until someone else comes.
All the time for them to solve the technical problems, like, oh, my Wi-Fi doesn't work.
Thank you. No, I think this is a great idea, and I like you call it a ritual, because that maybe might lead these people to connect more and deeper, and share also what you shared, Johan, a little bit about themselves. We used to have it in past academies that people were interconnecting in between the mentor sessions and getting to know each other. Then it was kind of like boring for them what I said, like they have another things to do. But it's maybe good to like renew it and do it maybe only for half an hour, but just a quick chat. How are you doing? What's new? And that would be enough maybe for them. You just inspired me when you shared it. It would be great also to know what are the people up to and things. So maybe this could be also, interesting to do.
Yeah, maybe.
That's cool.
It's always an option for the consideration, so you can jungle actually on that. So it doesn't mean that it should be every time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but for a moment I'll just want to say thank to all of you, and Maros included here, and to amazing Andrea who did it, because I definitely understand being the organizer and kind of the same time manager for all of the group. That's a huge work to be done, and moreover, like to make sure that everything works smoothly and communicating with everyone. That's for me also one of the biggest thank you to you, Andrea. And I really hope to stay in touch in some other formats. I don't know, with Jan, we can think of so-called post-cycle meeting or just kind of a post-cycle online party. I don't know how to call it. Just we'll have to choose a better name for that, and of course Maros, and maybe to meet other alumni from previous cycles. That would also a very nice idea, just to do that. Maybe we can think of something like that. So thank you once more again, and sorry for interrupting. Please continue, then I'll see that in the video just a bit later.
Okay. Don't hesitate to find me on Facebook.
Sure, with a great pleasure.
Yeah, thank you, Victoria. It's an amazing idea, and it actually gives the space for us to think about something for November, like an alumni wrap-up call after the year. So that's a great idea. Thanks a lot. And Johan, great you are staying. Maybe just your wrap-up, and also I wanted to ask you one thing. It's only about the next cycles, because we are, as I shared with you yesterday as well, the things how we're going to do it differently. So I want to propose all of you, the alumni who would like to be involved into commenting, feedbacking the new models, and maybe also helping us to spread the word about Academy, to join kind of the close circle of I don't know how to say now, advisors or whoever, alumni advisors. So if you would be interested, and that would mean we would have some call maybe in the end of, or in the middle of November, when we are complete and done with all the stuff, and when the website is ready, when then like a new idea to have an appetizer program for people to start on will be in the world, like will be definitely visible. So if you'd like, and if you were interested, that would be awesome to have you and to talk to you also more. How do you see that? How would you use that? And that's as well.
Yes, I think I would be. I'm surprised, but I think I would be very interested actually in this and being part of it. It's just that it will really be like, oh, at that time I'm ready to find several times in the week or in the month to be available, or maybe not. It will really be on the specific dates.
Exactly.
Could be yes or no.
That would be at specific dates, and it would be maybe in the beginning for twice a month only. Yeah. I mean, a half an hour twice a month, not more. So maybe we would say, okay, it's Tuesday from 6 to 6:30, and it's 2 Tuesdays per month, not more. It wouldn't be like an ongoing thing. It would be more like, okay, now we are on the call with people who want to have something to say about the different stages of the campaign, how it's moving, about the beginning as it's done, about sharing it further, and giving your ideas. So it would be more like an advisory, let's call it advisory council for now. This is also for Maros and Victoria if you are listening to it. And it would be composed of everyone who wants to say something to the program. I know that Catherine might be willing to say something. Mienke will be there, Lubita, if you, maybe Victoria, and maybe it will be only once a month, half an hour. Just, like in the beginning, listen to your voice and listen to your ideas. Okay, I like it. Maybe it can resonate with people. Or Andrea, no, like really, this is something I even would not go anymore any further. So I meant it more structural, very on time, agreed conversation, and not more than for half an hour. Maybe 40 minutes in November, and then only half an hour.
Also, and shorter, but you want not just me to watch, but also to talk with you, yeah?
Yes. I was really I invite you all alumni who would like to contribute with your advices and your ideas into the new future of Global Academy, to consider this. And as we are now in the process of defining how it should look like, we would like to also invite you then into conversation and shape it with you, the final form, before we launch it to the world, or even if we launch it, if it's working or not. So it's more like advisory council of people that meet sometimes for half an hour at specific day on specific time, and just share, okay, Andrea, this is a great idea. So more from this perspective, not from the perspective.
Yeah, I think I would be more interested if you say half an hour, 40 minutes, and I would be more interested. But I might say, if you tell me it's 3 months, twice a month, I might say, yes, only 2 months, or only once a month, or full, or maybe not at all. But I think I would rather say a smaller amount. I don't know. I will see. Looking the agenda and see. So you want to raise the project, say improve it before launching it on a wider scale.
Exactly, and in a different way as well. So now we are in a mode of preparations, and it might be ready until the end of next week, the latest. And we would like to really do differently in terms of how we launch it, in terms of the campaign, in terms of the modules. It should really go into the models that you also outlined a little, different topics on different modules, as I told you yesterday when we met. So it should be really about going more deeper into the topic, have even more culmination of people, because for 1 month of, let's say, lobbying and stakeholders, you can have 10 people, but you can also have 20, and these people can continue then to another month, or they can just leave and the others can come. But it could be more also more deeper, and also it could have more people in at once, because now it was 3 months for close group of people, which wasn't bigger than 6 people. And it's really, I don't want to say we want to have a big impact, but really then you can have really small impact, and also it's very big. I mean, in terms of the scale, in terms of the time. So we also want to make it maybe more easy, maybe more focus on one topic per month, and then go further. But before that, we would like to do some kind of an appetizer program for free for first 20 people. If they sign more, it's great, but for first 20, to have 1 month free program that would be composed of different modules, and that would be for everyone just to taste what can be Global Academy about. And if they are, interested, it could be 50, but if it's 20, it's amazing, because it's also something we can handle. And this is not that it came from my head. I'm now working a lot with Global Institute for Evolving Women, that we are starting their program for free for 100 women. And I see, people want to taste before they jump into something. So these are kind of the ideas, and it's on record so everyone can see it. And we are shaping it now. We laid down the ideas last week clearly with the team. This weekend it was reshaped. So we are expecting to have it somehow ready for your contributions and inputs next week or the other week. And then, when the webpage will be ready, then really talk to you and have your insights. So it won't be like, let's co-create, but more like, okay, what are your opinions? Would you go into that? Would you enroll your friends into this, for free? Because this could be more the discussion about it when it's really something on a paper. And we will also share with you how it looks like.
I think the idea of having something so prepared that, say, I don't know, the first month or first week is free, it's great. Mm-hmm. Well, then people have to attract people, they are not already inside. But I think it's great because then people are reassured and like, oh, if it's free, then let's try it,
Yeah,
so
and
it can have much bigger effects.
And from that, we can then think, about people who could go to these 1 month programs, because they already will have something, they already will have some taste. And we can also, like co-create it with the topics, with the ideas, with the others, So, okay, maybe you name some of the topics, we can put them into that. So it can be very, very intuitive and very interactive as well. It won't be so rigid as maybe this curriculum was, because this was stated, we have agreed it, we used to do it in the past and it was working great. But maybe now it could be more, more interactive.
Yeah. Also, I think for me, I accept it because we met physically and so on. But I think that I needed more, like an answer to my questions, like how many before I say, okay, I'm part of the project. How many sessions? What topics will it be? Mondays, Tuesday, or Wednesdays? Just to feel reassured. At least answers on most of these questions. And I think this is very important in advance, especially for people, say maybe in German-speaking countries. Especially.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And but if you don't want to give it, or if it's too complicated, or for whatever reason, or in addition to it, then the free session and the free module is great, because it's just don't have questions, to just try it.
Yeah, exactly. That's also the thing, because sometimes the one thing is that you need to know the curriculum. That's something you need to know. The other thing is that, you will all get the curriculum for free thing as well. But it's just like, if they are really up to the idea and it's only about money, it's only about other stuff, or if they are not interested at all. So also test the market differently than we used to, because now it really was time consuming and it was great. But it was really me having conversations with the people who signed up, that they were interested. It was special that we met in person, but all the others I could not have met in person. So it was really like online enrollment and interest, like, okay, wow, I want to try something, with those all others in those past cohorts. And exactly, with the free session, it's also for them, okay, I can try, because it's something that can boost my skills, or okay, I don't like it. And then we can go from that. But everything will be shared with you, as this is everything on the record. So for Maroj and Victoria, who might be watching it, don't worry, like this is nothing we are now agreeing on with Johan and you are excluded. As we will finalize it with the team, with Luca and Nienke, I will get back to you, and it will be great to have your insight, because then when we have a webpage, you can share it in your communities, this free program, and we can see how people respond.
Yeah, I might have a few more feedbacks on like the question that was at the beginning to ask me.
Yeah, but okay, let's go. I have like 2 minutes, but let's go. Let's definitely cover
Okay.
it.
So one is that thanks to the technical dimension with the Zoom was actually absolutely great because we just had to click and we don't say it because it works, but it's great. That's one thing. Second, yes, I think there's something to be developed that people speak and we speak, but maybe the speaker could speak and we could use more the clap.
Now I lost you. You are muted. You are muted, Johan.
Yeah, so there could be more a system where people write things and the presenter speaks, but attendance uses more the writing skills, maybe to ask questions. We could develop something like that. And that's it. Okay.
No, you can go ahead. We still have time. Like, I mean, but that's a good idea because it's really, Zoom is great in this. Like, seriously, I think it's the greatest communication tool because you can access it from everywhere. But you are right with writing. It may be good that we can. I love what you suggested with these rituals. I think this is a great idea also in the beginning because some people, are not so much eager to speak, especially when the whole cycle starts. Not everyone is like willing to speak in the group. And even if you are more than 3, you are kind of like, oh, you go first. So maybe, also empower them to write down how are they feeling, what's new, or what's your opinion about this, and not necessarily opening up discussion. That's amazing. Like that's, I think, that could be very useful as well.
We have to see from experience.
Yeah, but that's great. You know this because that will also make people writing. That will make them to write the things. All right. So thank you very much. I mean, like, it's been amazing. Like, we met in June and it was a roller coaster and it went on. Where are you now? Like, you are in Vienna or you are in...
I'm in Bratislava.
You're in Bratislava. Great. And where are you in Bratislava?
Urban Bistro.
Oh, that's perfect place. That was one of my favorites. So that will be a great evening for you.
Thanks, Andrea. Thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot, Johan. Enjoy and see you.
Okay, so good luck in all your projects and especially in this one.
Yeah. I hope we will be in touch on this.
Okay.
See you soon. Take care, and bye to everyone. Have a great evening and good time. Bye.
Thanks.